Give us an idea first. What exactly happened here? This is not the first time we do believe that hackers actually managed to exploit a part of the system of the whole Axie platform. What does this say as well about weaknesses here in Axie that might actually be exploitable?
I think that the incident with Axie Infinity, it needs to bear some more explanation, no? Because the narrative that the money of the players were stolen isn't quite accurate. So I think that's one of the things I'd really like to clarify. But before that, I will say also that a lot of cryptocurrency projects, we have to kind of remember that they are in their infancy. They are works in progress. So the Bangko Sentral is not wrong when they say that we need to exercise caution. I think we should always exercise caution. But we should also inform ourselves of the nuances and the details of incidents like this, because it is often not what we expect or what we think they are.
Okay, but just to clarify, we care about the Philippine market here, right? And we just reported 35% of the players. Is that correct? 35%? That's
of the
quite
whole market,
number.
At least for Axie Infinity, are local, Filipino players.
From the Philippines, and yet no players on your roster have been affected. How
Is that
can
also
this,
the case outside YGG?
Yeah, how can this be?
Sure, yeah, okay. So let's explain what the hack actually was. So the hack happened on a particular project called the Ronin Bridge. Now, this is just one part of the entire Axie ecosystem. It's not the entirety of it, it's just one component of it. And very importantly, its purpose was to bridge the world of Axie with the outside world. And that sounds kind of like a vague description, but that's about as non-technical as I can get it. It was meant to bridge one world into another world. Now, why was no players affected? It's because there are many other bridges from the Axie world to the outside world, and Ronin Bridge was only one of them. In fact, it was not a very popular bridge amongst Filipino players because they chose to use many other established bridges as well. So what we believe has happened is that there was money that was in the bridge, but it did not belong to the actual players. It belonged to the institutions that were supporting Axie Infinity and the Ronin ecosystem. But this was not players' funds that were hacked or stolen.
Okay, interesting. But could this have happened in any other way, in the same way? Was it, just pure luck that it was that bridge that was hacked, or could it have been something that would have been a bigger
Or better
impact?
yet as well, are we just waiting here for that moment that other bridges or other platforms might actually be compromised as well?
I think that with young projects, there's always a risk of hacking. There's always a risk of security flaws. I mean, these are projects that are built by humans, after all, and humans are just flawed. I will say, though, that with every new incident of this type, the community, the industry as a whole, becomes stronger. And part of the reason for that is because they learn from each new incident. Now, granted, this was not a small amount of money, and it was certainly something that the industry needs to take very seriously. But I think that if you look at the narrative around what has happened, there are many other crypto projects that are all rallying around Sky Mavis and Axie Infinity to show their support, either by helping them monitor where the funds are going or by blocking off the use of those funds in other platforms. No? So that the implication is that even if the hacker has all of these funds with them, they will not be able to spend it, at least not in a lot of these major exchanges or major platforms, because they're all monitoring what's happened. This is actually one of the nice things about blockchain. There's never any question of where the money is. Everyone can see where it is, so everyone can monitor.
Oh, so given that there's no need, at least there are no players who are at least trying to get their money back, but at the same time, what's the impact now for the current users of Axie here? Can local players still withdraw or encash their assets from Axie at the moment?
So it is possible for you to transact within the game right now. That part has not changed. However, they have turned off certain services for security reasons because they need to investigate it. It's only been a few days since this whole investigation has actually started. And as far as we can tell, they are hesitant to show any more details because it's really in the hands of the law enforcement officials at the moment. And as we know, you're not supposed to kind of share too many details because it's a developing case. I don't see that there's any indication that the players' funds are under any kind of danger if anything, it's just going to be temporarily paused while the investigation is going on.